Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. When you write for a prestigious media outlet, or I don't know, a newspaper or something like that, let's say you write for the Telegraph or Business Insider, for I don't know, whatever, you are talking, you are at BBC, you are at Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. These are big news on this planet. These are big corporations. They are what they are, media, how should I put it, influential. You would expect that the people working over there are professional and they are the best of the best. Therefore, they are over there. And obviously, that's not the case. That tells you that it's more important to follow the orders than to be exceptional at your real job. So they are good at the position where they are, but in the wrong way. So I have here an article from the Telegraph, and the story is by a person called Anita Singh. I have her picture, and I read the title and I skimmed through her article, and it's can't be, it's either or. Either she's stupid, uninformed, but she writes for the Telegraph, or she's very good and she writes the narrative that's supposed to the propaganda. It's either or. So it's either very good, but is a weasel, a liar, or she's dumb as fuck and she doesn't know better. There's no other way. So let me show you the article. This article, the title, I will just give you the title. The bulk of and I will explain the bulk of the article. This comes from the Telegraph. It's from 3 hours ago. Today, the 29th of January 2024. Putin versus the West, she says. At war, review the inside story of the war that took world leaders by surprise. Now, you can't be so dumb and ignorant not to know at the get-go that the world leaders were not taken by surprise whatsoever. By default, that is a lie. And I will explain. And again, she says Putin versus the West, like the West is all united. That's another lie. You know, it's by exaggeration, it's a lie. And here, this is the person, this is the name, this is the face, Anita Singh. And I'm going to show you another picture right here. That's her, the same kind of, okay? This is the person who writes for the Telegraph. You can find her. And let's discuss. So she claims that Putin is versus the West, the whole West. And that is you and I, not the leaders, you and I. And he says that the leaders took the world leaders by surprise. No, when she refers to world leaders, she refers to the leaders of 3 countries or 4 maybe, which are the United States of America, Great Britain, France, and maybe Germany when it's beneficial. That's it. When the same thing with when these guys attack another poor country, depleted country, as a coalition. It's the United States of America, and it gets the other one to build legitimacy that is not alone. Even though they don't have a problem with that. See how they vote in the United Nations Security Council. They don't care being by themselves because they're right. So, what do you mean this war in Ukraine took the world leaders by surprise? This is an elementary piece of information that I guarantee you all the world leaders knew that is a red line. They were informed many, many times that Ukraine being invited to join NATO will mean war. They knew it. Putin told them. They knew. If you just bother to have experts studying the Russian media, the Russian culture, the way they talk about NATO, the issue with Ukraine being a NATO state, they knew. It was not a surprise, nothing surprising about it. The point is, they made a gamble. If Russia will not react, yeah, so it was 50-50. If the Russians will not react like they reacted, say, you know what, we're not going to allow this to happen. It's against our national interest, our security. We told you, you how should I put it? You would not be okay if roles will be reversed. Let's say we bring weapons in Canada or Mexico or something like this. That's elementary. That was expected. The Russians might answer like that. Now, there were two options. Russia would not, smack them like they did, or they would smack them. So in the case they smack them, they were like, okay, now we're gonna really do what we are supposed to do. There was no surprise. They knew it. They were waiting. The only thing that they were waiting if the Russians will be weak or the Russians will be strong. And they're strong because they say, you know what, we're gonna take on all of you. How many you are over there? Because we are considering ourselves with the back against the corner and or backs against the wall, and we will just jump on whomever. That's the whole thing. So Miss Singh, she's either a weasel, which I suspect she is. I don't think she can be so dumb, so she doesn't know the elementary thing. That was a really, really red line. They knew it. So no leader was surprised. They didn't like the Russian reaction, because if the Russians wouldn't have reacted like that, they were gone. Weapons at close to the Russian borders. What's next in Russia? So it was no way around. So remember, this thing comes from a lot of authors that play dumb. The thing is, people, these ads, this little article that she wrote over there with other article wrote by CNET something and some others, the people will read it, will give the credibility of the Telegraph, which is not Zipa Kappa Poca Loca. We all heard about Telegraph. Now, some of us don't trust it at all. Some of us trust it 100%, and some are like in between, right? But nevertheless, when you hear Telegraph is everywhere, so they listen and read this little article and they say, well, yeah, they were taken by surprise. No, they weren't whatsoever. So that's a lie. Now, they talk about misinformation and disinformation. These guys are trying to close you. If you have an opinion on something, let's say I say, well, this is not white, this is black, because that's the way I see it and I want to see it. No, you can't even have that. Let alone try to lie and explain, somehow scientifically, which you can't, that this is actually black and is not white. So then would be disinformation, knowingly. It's not based on a preference. So Miss Singh's assessment should be an informed assessment. She's not like a person in a corner selling hot dogs. Hey, you know what I think? I think that the world is flat. Okay, fuck off. I don't care. I'm not going to close your stand because you say that, your little hot dog stand. The same here, but she works for the Telegraph. And people like you and I, who know something about the issue from the very beginning, this is elementary stuff, took leaders, world leaders. And when you say world leaders, what do you mean? Because you can't say 193 countries, minus Russia, 192 countries. So I don't think all the 192 countries were taken by surprise. Or you're referring to the world leaders, the 4 that I mentioned, or 3 or 1? And then why are they the leaders? Because they're good? Because they're strong? So, sometimes you say the world community, United States of America, and whomever agrees with them. That's the world community at each time. If anybody else, if it's 90% do not agree with US's position, those are not the world community. This is the world community. This is the world leaders. Why? I thought that the countries are all independent, sovereign, and equal, right? And other nations, no? Some a little bit more equal than the other ones, but nevertheless. So again, remember, we find this kind of Anita Singh everywhere. Now, if we don't know anything about the issue, we're just gonna, just gulp this piece of information, and we believe the crap she's talking about in her article, which her article said that they were all surprised. What was that? That's why they said from the get-go, Russia attacked Ukraine unprovoked. Now, okay. So if you go in the world community, which is the good society, and you say, what are you talking about? They attacked unprovoked. That's garbage. You're gonna find that you will be attacked verbally by most idiots over there, most baboons, and they will try to shut you down, fire you, hurt you if they can, close you, cancel you, even though you're right, or at least ask a question. You can't even do that. Now, those are tyrants. You know, the problem is they love democracy somehow when they win. Dangerous society, dangerous times we live, my friends. And the problem is we always had baboons around us, a majority of baboons. But at least the elites were not so broken from us. It seems like now they take everything we got, using the baboons to eliminate people like you and I. And others better than us. So, yeah, took world leaders by surprise. None of them were surprised. None of them. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.